Hello, my name's Bond, Richard Bond, and this is Curmudgeonly Yours, a show on Society Bites Radio, part of the Radio Ear Network family, supplying social interaction for the mind and soul. The introductory and concluding music to this show is La Polonaise by Wieniawski, played by Max Bond. I am your host and curmudgeon, where everything is what it seems. Nothing is what it seems. And what is not said is often of most interest. My guest today is Devina Kaur, the founder of the Sexy Brilliant Global Revolution. Hi, Devina.
Hi, Richard. Hello, everybody.
I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Devina, not Divina?
You can call me the Divine One.
All right, I'll call you the Divine One. I like that. Welcome to Curmudgeonly Yours on Society Bites Radio. Devina Kaur, the Divine One, is the founder of the Sexy Brilliant Revolution, a philosophy that started thanks to her Craigslist dating addiction. Devina is a fun-loving, flamboyant, straight talker, born and raised in India. She's a North American-based author, entrepreneur, and media personality. Devina Kaur, could you describe the Sexy Brilliant Global Revolution and tell our listeners about how you started this movement?
Hi, everybody. Thank you again, Richard. So Sexy Brilliant comes across because of my years of struggling with a dating addiction. An addiction can happen to anybody of any gender, any socioeconomic background. And, the times that we live in, most of us are addicted to something or the other. And in my case, it happened to be Craigslist. It happened to be, when I was depressed and I was down, I was literally suicidal. My marriage was over. My arranged marriage was over. And I did not know what to do with myself. And I found myself, because of my loneliness, I found myself on Craigslist. And I had tried online dating, but it was, I found it to be very fake, and I found it to be very, not real, not something that that was helping me in any way with my growth or finding a relationship or connecting to people. So I ended up on Craigslist, lonely, broken.
And which country? Were you back in North America, in Canada at that time?
Yeah, I was in Canada, and but everywhere I traveled, Craigslist was everywhere. So Craigslist was in the U.S., it was in India, but I'm based in Canada, so mostly in Canada, and it kind of became something that started giving me a high. It was I was literally just getting a high from hiding behind a screen and talking to lonely single men. And it's not something I'm proud of. And the reason I'm sharing this is because, self-awareness is the first step towards overcoming an addiction or any health issue or any darkness that we may be going through. And so often we think of darkness as a bad thing, but if there was no darkness, we would not be able to appreciate the sunlight, and we would not be able to appreciate the good things in life.
Well, that's like saying if there's no negativity, then there can't be any positivity, right?
So there's a lot of on social media. There's a lot of the movement for positivity is wonderful and it's great, but just living in positivity is not enough. It's also being able to accept ourselves and our darkness, which means addiction, whatever that may be, the mental health issues that most of us have, health issues. So that's where my story is, where I was struggling in loneliness and depression, and I looked at the outside to make me feel better.
Okay, well, before we go into that, you were in India. you had an arranged marriage, I presume, over there or over in Canada?
Well, my ex-husband is from India, so it was like arranged between the families, and he was
Over
in
there.
North.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And then, so now it's you find yourself separated or divorced. You're in Canada, and the high of the Craigslist was being part of this. And what you started as this sexy, brilliant revolution. Let's talk about the part there at the beginning, and that was really exciting for you.
So, as I was on Craigslist, and people would ask me, like, you're at the same time you're messaging like 4 or 5 people, like trying to meet up and trying to
Hmm.
move from the online world to the real world. And anytime somebody would message me, I started saying, they would ask me, "How are you?" And I started saying, "Always sexy, always brilliant." It didn't matter how fat I felt. It didn't matter that I had only $5 in my pocket, and I had no, and I had no food to feed the children. I just said, "I am sexy. I am brilliant." And guess what happened, Richard?
No, tell me.
The more I said it, the more I started believing it.
Ah, yes, of course. Yes.
So,
Okay.
so that's the positive affirmation, right? Like, sexy,
Sure.
brilliant became my mantra to say, "I am sexy, I am brilliant," no matter the size, no matter the bank balance.
Okay.
Um, and then from there, it was just like, like saying that there's a bigger purpose to my life than just being an addict or just being somebody who's depressed and is divorced, full-time single mother. So as I was exploring my purpose, my meaning, of course I stumbled upon Sexy Brilliant, and that's where it all started.
Okay. Okay. So basically, you're saying most of what is human, even sad stuff, is sexy, brilliant for you because you just try to see the good side of things and see the good side of stuff, I suppose. Um, in one video, Divina, you allude to having put on a few pounds, and then you say, no matter how fat one is always sexy. So that's basically what you're saying there, right?
Yes, Richard. So so I'm this short and fat person, and all my life I've struggled to fit in. All my life I've struggled to, be accepted for this fat person. And at some point, I got tired of hearing that I'm too fat. So I said, okay, you know what? I can be too fat, too loud, too ambitious, and still feel sexy and still feel brilliant.
I like that. Yeah.
So yeah, so sexy is not just about how you are from the outside or what you look like, which are purely genetics, but sexy is also about the inside. The
Sure.
daring, the courage, the being curious. That's sexy.
Mm. Well, you have brought Sexy Brilliant to apply to everyone. If I understand correctly, it doesn't matter what one looks like. As long as one feels sexy or brilliant, one is. And notice I use one so as not just to talk about women or men. Any other thoughts on that?
Mm-hmm. So Sexy Brilliant is a global revolution of empowerment for people of all genders, all ethnic backgrounds. It doesn't matter who you identify as or who you love, or want to love. Everybody is sexy and everybody is brilliant. It's
Mm,
from the inside out.
right. And I mean, you got a smile of $100, so it's I mean, $1,000. Um, Divina, you say the mirror is therapy. Laughing is better than sex. Just by naming it and claiming it, accepting who you are, laughing and smiling at your mirror, you relieve stress. My mother, who came of age in New York in the 1920s, told me there was a popular song then that went like this: I love me, I love me, I am wild about myself. You accept yourself for who you are and delight in your own wonderfulness. Your thoughts?
Hmm. So, like I said, that as a human being, we all have emotions, we all have family, we all have failures, we all have success, we all have wins, we all have love. but it's so important to be able to accept that negative part of ourselves. So that comes from how well we know ourselves, how well we know our gifts, and then how well we practice radical self-acceptance. Because no part of ourselves is our own enemy.
Sure. Devina, I noticed you were on a well-known Hollywood show, and the host aggressively said, with a bleeped-out obscenity, to you that you have no standards for dating because you were on Craigslist. I'm sure you have very high standards. Could you run us through that? Talk about that. First of all, Craigslist. Just for our listeners, Craigslist is like eBay, right? It's a market. Anyway, go ahead. Tell me about Craigslist and that show.
Yes. So, yes, I was on this TV show called $1 Million Matchmaker with Patty Stanger, who's this wonderful business person, and also she has this great TV show. And while I was there, she was very aggressive, and she was being real, and she is right. But I stood up to myself and I said, you know what? How dare you speak to me like this? How dare you slut shame me? And how dare you call me, whatever the words were? And the reason I was able to do that, to stand up to somebody who is so powerful and so successful, is because I believe in myself, and I believe that I felt confidence. I talk about confidence. That's my gift, and I'm talking about spiritual confidence. My worth is not based on what people outside of me think. My worth is based on how I feel from the inside out. And Sexy Brilliant is an ongoing personal development where we make personal development fun, and it's for the rest of your life. And I talk about being your own best friend. Right.
No, that's very good. Were you able to get back on that show or a similar show? Or
there've been a lot of TV offers, including from Bollywood. I'm just waiting for the right time.
Oh, that's wonderful. So things are working out for you well.
Well, things are working out for me, but it's the TV is, it's Sexy Brilliant, and TV is one of the ways of popularizing the message, but there's also books, and there's also a big online presence as well.
Ah, okay. Well, I noticed your YouTube, because you have quite a few YouTube videos about karate. I used to do karate, and you yourself have attained the blue belt level. If I remember correctly, when I was doing karate, we start at white, then go to yellow, orange, green, blue, brown, black, and then sometimes red for fighting competitions. And then if you keep on through the different levels or dance, level 1, 2, 3, your black belt gets so worn out by sweating into it and wearing it that it turns to white again. And so the process never ends. Your take, some of the greatest karate experts, their belts are so worn that they're almost white. Anyway, your take on the whole process is interesting, because you say, Devina, that the hardest belt to get is the white belt, because it's hard to start things. And a white belt means you have started karate, and starting something is to be commended. How about your thoughts?
So I have to agree on that. Starting anything, whether it's karate, whether it's a new business, whether it's, possibly getting out of a relationship, or thinking about quitting a job so that you can, travel. Starting something is always the hardest thing to do. And it takes so much courage to just get out of your own way. And I commend people who, doesn't matter the size you are, doesn't matter the age you are, who just show up to do karate or show up to start a new career, go back to university. So these are the small things that we really, really need to appreciate about ourselves, because fear is always there, but courage is one step ahead of fear.